Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Public Service for Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. This is a public meeting, and there are one hearing and one letting today. So at this time, we'll handle the letting first. And I understand there are a number of bids. So Helen, when you're ready, you can take over and start reading the bids.
Okay, it's gonna take a few minutes.
And then once the bids are read, we'll go through and do the hearing. So I know that our conditional use permit holders online, if you would just stay muted, we'll be with you shortly. And I think just for context, so everybody knows, there are 11 bids, so that's why it's going to take a couple minutes.
10 down and 1 to go. Okay, we're opening bid letting number 8790 for demolition of Missouri Air National Guard, Jet Links, and Credit Union Building at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. We have 11 bids. Groundworks Contracting Incorporated, that's GROUNDWORKS Contracting Incorporated. Total bid amount is $3,676,191. 3676191.00. Door and Associates Incorporated, DORE and Associates. Total bid amount is $2,483,572. 2483572.00. Susan Schaefer, SUSANSHAFER. Total bid amount is $2,174,592. 2174592.00. Renaissance Incorporated, RENASCENT Incorporated. Total bid amount is $2,636,143. 2636143.00. Green Demolition Contractors, GREEN Demolition Contractors. Total bid amount is $2,644,228. 2644228.00. Sabre Demolition Corporation, that's SABRE Demolition Corporation. Total bid amount is $2,461,000. 2461000.00. NJW Corporation, N like Nancy, J like Joy, W like Work Corporation. Total bid amount is $4,199,576.78. 4199576.78. Ben-Hur Construction Company, BENHUR Construction Company. Total bid amount is $2,175,000. 2175000.00. Cosney Wagner Incorporated, KOZENY-WAGNER Incorporated. Total bid amount is $1,880,033. 1880033.00. Total Wrecking and Environmental LLC, TOTAL WRECKING and Environmental LLC. Total bid amount is $1,718,956.44. 1718956.44. And C. Rallo Contracting Company Incorporated, C. RALLO Contracting Company Incorporated. Total bid amount is $2,620,201.00. $2,620,201.00. And that's it.
Thank you, Helen.
You're welcome.
At this time, we will handle hearing number 129107 RH. Hearing 129107-RH is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the city of St. Louis. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether to revoke the conditional use permit numbered as 129107 issued to B1 Market LLC, CO Khalid Motan, to occupy 2821 North Vandevener Avenue, to occupy an existing business, convenience store, and gas station with no cooking and no liquor. The parties have been notified of the violations of the conditions of this conditional use permit in writing by certified mail, along with the posted notice of today's hearing date. This hearing has been convened in order to address the issues surrounding conditions number 4, 5, 13, 16, and 18, which provide. Condition number 4, there shall be no sales of items that can be used or intended for use as drug paraphernalia as defined in Ordinance 68404 or successor ordinances, including but not limited to food scales, glass tubes, disposable lighters with pop-off tops, steel scrubbing pads and screens, rolling papers, ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, diet supplements, sleep aids, bath salts, or other substitutes for illegal drugs. Condition 5, all tobacco products, including cigarettes, cigars, and cigarillos, shall only be sold in their original packaging and in accordance with applicable laws. Condition number 13, there shall be no temporary signage on the premise or posted to the exterior or interior of the windows or doors of the establishment at any time. Condition 16, the applicant must apply for and receive a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division before posting any signage, including window signs and painted graphics and/or lettering. The signage must be professionally prepared and approved by the Office of Zoning Administrator before being installed. Condition number 18, the premise shall not be issued a public nuisance notice pursuant to Ordinance 68535 or its successor ordinances. The Office of Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given an opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. Your testimony today is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered 129107 issued on March 16, 2021 for B1 Market LLC CO Khalid Motan to occupy 2821 North Vandevener Avenue to operate an existing business, convenience store, and gas station with no cooking and no liquor. Item 3, letters dated June 24, 2025, sent certified mail to B1 Market LLC CO Khalid Motan and B Market LLC DBA B1 Market both at 2821 North Benevento Street, St. Louis, Missouri 63107, and Midwest Petroleum Company, CO Khalid Motan, 220 Old Merrimack Station Road, Manchester, Missouri 63021, notifying the permit holder and the others named entities of the violations of this permit and providing notice of the public hearing regarding the revocation of conditional use permit 129107 to be held on July 15th, 2025. Item 4, a copy of the memorandum dated May 19th, 2025 from the zoning plan examiner Sandra Long to the zoning administrator Mary Hart Burton regarding an investigation of the permitted property on May 12th, 2025, during which continuing violations of conditions 4, 5, 13, 16, and 18 were observed. Item 5. Photographs dated May 12th, 2025 of the indoor and outdoor conditions at 2821 North Vandeventer Avenue. Item 6. A copy of an email from the Assistant City Councilor, Vanna Shaw, to Sandra Long with attached photos regarding potential nuisance activities at 2821 Vandeventer. A copy of the notice dated Item 7. A copy of the notice dated August 26, 2024, addressed to B1 Market LLC, 16714 Edisto Court, Florissant, Missouri 63034, regarding the public nuisance at 2817 through 2827 North Vandeventer Avenue. Item 8. A copy of the public notices of today's hearing in the City Journal dated July 1st, 2025, July 8th, 2025, and July 15th, 2025. Item 9. Photographs dated July 10th, 2025 of a sign posted at 2821 North Vandeventer giving notice of today's revocation hearing. And item 10. A copy of the memorandum dated July 14th, 2025 from the zoning plan examiner Sandra Long to the zoning administrator Mary Hart Burton regarding an investigation of the permitted property on July 14th, 2025, during which violations of conditions 3, 4, 13, 16, and 19 were observed. At this time, the board asks the representative of the Office of Zoning Administrator to please come forward and be sworn in.
The testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Please state your name and address for the board, please.
My name's Sandra Long, zoning plan examiner for the city, 1200 Market Street. As of my investigation on yesterday, July 14th, I found the conditions have not improved any. And in fact, there was more trash laying around on the ground yesterday. So I also included number 3 in my report. So they were still in violation of number 3, number 4, number 13, number 16, and number 19. I did not witness them selling single cigarettes yesterday, but people were asking for them. They just weren't selling them to them in front of me.
Okay, thank you for your investigation. Just to clarify for the board, what is condition number 3 and what is condition number 19?
Number 19 there was a typo in the first letter that said 18. It was actually 19. And that is a nuisance violation. And number 3 is applicant shall police the exterior of the premises for litter twice daily or more frequently if needed. There was quite a bit of trash scattered all over, basically over the whole parking lot and along the fence line and all over.
Okay, so I'm going to open the floor up for questions, but I do have a couple more. So just in summary, that not only have they not improved, but now we have an additional condition that you've noticed. And I guess I want to ask the question, have you personally had conversations with Mr. Motan concerning these conditions?
Both times when I went out, I went in and talked to the cashier that was working and gave them a copy of the conditional use with what they were in violation of, a copy of the actual conditional use. And I think I talked to Mr. Moton yesterday, was the first time I talked to him. I'm not sure if it was Mr. Moton or somebody else, but it was one of the owners called me yesterday and I explained it to him.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor up for any questions for Ms. Long by any of our board directors. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, Ms. Long. This time, we will ask anyone else present who wishes to testify the noted conditions have not been complied with, please come forward and be sworn in. So you would be in support of this revocation. I don't see anyone else on the screen. And Monica and Michelle, is there anyone in the room with you?
No, there's not.
Okay, so one last time, if there's anyone here who wishes to testify, the noted conditions have not been complied with, and you wish to testify, please bring it to my attention at this time.
Can we testify to improve from now?
You will testify as the conditional use permit holder, sir.
Okay.
So, hang loose.
Okay.
Right, so let the record reflect there's no one else present to testify. The noted conditions have not been complied with or in support of this revocation. So at this time, I'll ask the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Mr. Khalid, please raise your right hand. Unmute yourself, please. The testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name and the mailing address for the board.
My name is Khalid Motan. My address 16714 Edisto Court, Florissant, Missouri. Zip code 63034.
Thank
Okay, great. You can put your hand down. That's fine. And so, sir, at this time, you've heard the testimony of Ms. Long and concerning the inspection, and there are a number of violations of your conditional use permit. At this time, I would like to give you an opportunity to address the board and explain your side of the story.
Okay.
So basically, I'm gonna come in the picture and start helping out now.
Okay, so hang on. If you're going to actually testify for him,
Yeah,
then you need to be sworn in as well and identify yourself.
no problem.
Raise
Go
your
ahead.
right hand, please. The testimony you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
Please state your name and the address for the board.
I'm Mally Moten. My home address is 16714 Edisto Court. The store address is 2821 North Vanderbilt Avenue. I'm the son. And I'm starting to come in the picture now so I can help everything in the gas station and make sure it's clean. Like I used to back in the day for the other location, and I was great at it. It was in East St. Louis, 25th Street. And now I'm gonna come in the picture for Vanderbilt and help out over there to make sure, because I'm already OCD as well. So when I come in the picture and I make sure there's no problems, there's no loitering. That's the main thing, loitering and littering. And yeah, and then the permits for the signs, we didn't know as well because the cigarette companies, they put them there as well, which we did remove, and we'll get permits as well for them as well as soon as possible, for sure. Like we're not gonna let that. We're not gonna have none of that. I'm gonna come in the picture and make sure everything is clean, and help him out a lot. And I'm gonna be there full time.
Okay, so just a few comments and then I'll open the floor up for any comments from any of the board members. So the very first thing I would highly recommend to you is that you review your conditional use permit that was granted in May of 21. You understand what all the conditions are. If you do not understand a condition, I would highly recommend you reach out to Ms. Long or Ms. Burton in the zoning department and you get full clarification so we don't wind up back here again should the board not revoke this permit. The other thing that I think is important for everyone to understand, and I'm probably preaching to the choir with the board here, but conditional uses are granted in an area that is not zoned for your business, okay? Generally a residential area. And so you are coming into someone's neighborhood with your business, and we are allowing you to do that, with a conditional use permit, against what the zoning code would normally allow there. So we have to believe that you're going to keep up this business, you're going to be a good neighbor, and that you are not going to bother your neighbors because, quite frankly, they live there and you are simply there to have a business, not where you raise your family or put your head down at nighttime. So I guess what I want to ask you is, you know, you need to convince this board that you are going to do all these things firmly. You're going to take control of this, and you are not going to allow any of these problems to happen. Otherwise, we would wind right back up here again and go through this whole process over.
Yes.
Can you do that for me, please?
Yes, no problem. So again, the most important cause, and like, so basically the littering, of course, and where to make sure it's fully cleaned all the time, and then the sign permits, and then just not selling those kind of things as well too. To prevent, we don't do like that. And then another thing is the loitering too, correct? Like the homeless walking around. We are gonna like make sure that doesn't happen. Now it did help out a lot. It's not like back then, because when that club was open across the street, that caused a ton of violence, and I'm happy it shut down because it was just too much. Like, it was so many cars in the parking lots and we couldn't control it. But that I stepped out of the picture a lot too because I was overseas. And I used to help them out with everything in the gas stations to make sure everything's clean, make sure everything, no loitering and no problems happen too. And I will make sure on that. I will, for sure. Like, I'm OCD myself, you know. Like, if you see my house, my car, my room, everything, even my like my office unit, it's really everything I like to keep clean, and even my father's property, of course. I want to keep it, you know. That's the main thing. And I get it, it's a neighborhood. That makes sense. I didn't realize that because I'm not there, but you guys telling it like that, yes, that makes sense for sure. And even if it's not a neighborhood, still it's supposed to be really clean, you know. Yeah. We're gonna put like, no, we're gonna put a lot of like, we're gonna put the sign permit, and then we're gonna make sure to clean today. I'm gonna go there today. I'm gonna go there today. And we're gonna
At
clean everything.
this time, I'm going to open the floor up for questions because we have other board members that may have questions for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, just a basic comment. Appreciate you attending the hearing. Very, very important matter, but I also contend it's very basic. When you have a conditional use, um, I, I don't think folks should really ever get to a stage of having to come to a hearing like this if they're paying attention to their business. So you're saying that you are confident you will do that, and that's good that you feel that way. Hopefully, that's what results from this hearing.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Director. Other comments or questions from board members?
Yeah, I got one. Why now? What would lend us to believe that this is gonna happen now?
Because I mean, so I was originally in 25th Street back in the day, and I used to like work with him all day, but I didn't. I'm not at Vandeventer right now, but now I'm gonna actually come to Vandeventer every single day, and actually make sure, because I'm clean myself. You're gonna, you know, it's gonna happen starting today. You know, like every little thing of spec, everything's gonna be cleaned up, and then there's not gonna be any homeless, of course, anywhere sitting down. I know that's the main concern. And then the permits of the sign, that of course we're gonna get the permit for immediately. And then we already removed the signs too for like the Newport signs and stuff like that because the salesmen, they put it there just to promote their brand. But again, like me, I can make sure, like, you know, it's completely safe and a completely nice looking, better gas station than the littering, you know. We're gonna make sure that's all cleaned up today and maintained as well. I promise that. And again, I'm very OCD, you know, like I really am. Like, I am very OCD. So like when I was in East St. Louis at that gas station, I always made sure the parking lot was clean. I cleaned it all the time, every single day, morning and night. And then yeah, before I leave and when I come, every time. And any other concerns so I can know to fix as well. because I want to make sure everything is like, 100%. So we don't have to, of course, nobody likes a hearing, but it's good to have a hearing so we can know what to do better.
Director, you have any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, great, thank you. Any further questions from any of our other board directors? Seeing none, thank you. If you would mute yourself again, sir, that'd be great. At this time, if there's anyone present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. And this is above and beyond the conditional use permit holder and son. And I don't see anyone else online. Monica, is there anyone in the room with you or Michelle?
There's not.
Okay, thank you very much. So one last time, if there's anyone present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, please let the record reflect that no one was present today to oppose this revocation. At this time, the matter concerning hearing number 129107 is now closed and submitted. I'll ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Director Days,
Aye.
Director Flake,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Patel,
Present.
Director Pearson,
Present.
President Bradley.
Present, we have a quorum. I'll call this meeting in order.
Regular business from the President. Recommendation that approval be given as follows. Amendment number 1 to the Facilities Management Division's Plumbing Service Contract number 80081 with Dressel Plumbing Services LLC doing business as Torresi Plumbing Services. This first amendment extends the contract termination date to August 31st, 2025, and increases the maximum not to exceed amount from $20 million to $25 million. Additionally, Exhibit A will supersede and replace the existing exhibit on September 1, 2025, to include a 3% increase. Request by Ameren to access several city-owned properties located in Ward 1 of the Patch neighborhood to conduct geotechnical drilling, environmental phase 1 due diligence, and extended survey work beginning July 16, 2025, and ending on October 15, 2025. From the Office of Special Events, request for the following to be approved, subject to certain conditions. We have 9 special events to be declared as festival zones. Macklin Days 2025 will take place on Macklin between Devonshire and Nottingham on September 27th from noon to 8 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin at 8 a.m. and end at 10 p.m. Daniel Donato Yonder, Mountain String Band, and Railroad Earth will take place on Talmadge between Vandevender and Manchester on July 17th from noon to 11:30 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin on July 16th at 5 p.m. and end on July 18th at 5 p.m. St. Louis Bourbon Festival will take place on Cherokee between Lemp and Damanil Place, 18th between Cherokee and Utah, and Damanil Place between Cherokee and Utah on October 3rd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin on October 2nd at 7 a.m. and end on October 4th at 2 p.m. St. Lucy's Homecoming at St. John of Arc will take place on Olathe between Sulphur and Hampton on September 6th from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and September 7th from noon to 10 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin on September 4th at 4 p.m. and end on September 8th at 4 p.m. Runway on Washington Avenue will take place on Washington between 15th and 16th Street on October 9th from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin at noon and end at 10 p.m. Andy Frasco and the UN will take place on Talmadge between Manchester and Vandevender on August 29th from 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin on August 28th at 5 p.m. and end on August 29th at 5 a.m. Circus of Life convening will take place on Washington between Spring and Grand on October 26th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin at 8 a.m. and end at 4 p.m. St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church Annual Festival will take place on Forest Park Avenue between Kings Highway and Euclid on August 30th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin on August 29th at 8 a.m. and end on September 2nd at 5 a.m. South Grand Fall and Music Fest will take place on Hartford between South Grand and Wyoming on September 20th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Setup and tear down will begin at 8 a.m. and end at 8 p.m. From the Directors of Streets, recommendation that the following be denied. Request by Sugar Witch Holdings, LLC, to encroach with tables and chairs for a sidewalk cafe at 7726 Virginia Avenue due to lack of available space. From the Directors of Public Safety and Utilities, joint recommendation that the following be approved, subject to certain conditions. Request by Christine James Real Estate Missouri, LLC, to subdivide 1119 Kentucky Avenue in City Block 3991. Request by Seven Brew Coffee to consolidate 1232 and 1242 Hampton Avenue in City Block 4015. Request by Shopcat LLC to consolidate 3239 and 3243 Tennyson Square in City Block 5104. Request by Sarah Clayton Property Owner LLC to subdivide 4108 Clayton Avenue in City Block 3962. Request by 3150 Morganford LLC to consolidate lots 16 and 17 of J.W. Russell's estate located at 3150 Morganford Road in City Block 5062. Request by Hipton Hardwood to subdivide 1408 through 1414 North Broadway in City Block 0690. Request by Harris House Foundation, Inc. to consolidate 3301, 3305, and 3307 South Broadway into one lot in City Block 3204. From the Directors of Public Utilities, Streets, Human Services, and Parks, Recreation, and Forestry, joint recommendation that the following be approved, subject to certain conditions. Request by Rankin Technical College for public improvements at 4300 Finney Avenue. The proposed improvements include ADA compliant on-street parking, ADA ramps, a speed table, and 2 retaining walls on Finney Avenue. Building ingress and egress stairs and ramps along CD Banks and Finney Avenue. New sidewalks and granite curbs along CD Banks, Pendleton, and Finney Avenue. 2 ADA curb ramps along Pendleton at the corners of CD Banks and Finney. And new driveway entrances on CD Banks, Finney, and the alley. From the Directors of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following be approved, subject to certain conditions. Request by MBR Kings Highway LLC for public improvements at 3108 South Kings Highway Boulevard. The proposed improvements include modifying the curb cut at the existing entry driveway, re-asphalting the existing parking area with new striping, extending the north entrance on Arsenal with a curb cut, and modifying the existing fence to create a new landscape pocket around it. Joint recommendation that one application from AT&T be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 83 for 1911 South 9th Street. Joint recommendation that one application from Verizon be approved subject to certain conditions. Application number 88 for 4231 Natural Bridge Avenue. We have no conditional use permits on today's meeting.
Thank you, Monica. First, we'll handle hearing number 129107 RH for B1 Market LLC, 2821 North Vandevetter, convenience store, gas station, no cooking, no liquor. We heard from our zoning administrator's representative that there were still a number of conditions in violation. We heard there was no one in support of this revocation. We heard from our conditional use permit holder, the son of, that he testified that he would work with his father to resolve these issues and clear up these conditions and make sure that he's present there daily to make sure that everything is in compliance with the conditional use permit. And then there was also no one in opposition to this revocation present at today's hearing. So with that brief summary, I will open the floor up for any discussion from any of our board directors. So it seems to me, just a couple comments here that, the individual understood what the problems are. The individual, made a commitment to us as the board to do his best to help his father with all this and not allow this to happen again. So at this time, I'll open the floor up for a motion.
I make a motion to provide the conditional use holder 30 days, a maximum of 30 days to correct the violations. An everyday presence, with an everyday presence, it's very highly unlikely that any of these violations would exist. So that is my motion.
Okay, have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, directors. Is there any discussion before we vote? Seeing none, can you call the roll, please?
Director Days,
Aye.
Director Flake,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Patel,
Aye.
Director Pearson,
He had to leave.
President Bradley.
Aye. So the motion is to extend for 30 days to get all conditions back in conjunction with the conditional use permit, and it has been approved. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from July 8th, 2025. Are there any questions or any comments on the meeting minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
So moved, Kent.
Second, Hayes.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Days,
Aye.
Director Flake,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Patel.
Abstain.
So noted. President Bradley.
Aye, the meeting minutes are approved. Thank you. Today's agenda, are there any questions or comments on today's BPS meeting agenda? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
Motion to
moved.
approve, Hayes.
Second, Patel.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Days,
Aye.
Director Flake,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Patel,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's agenda is approved. Before we adjourn, are there any questions or any comments from any of our board directors? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved, Hayes.
Second, Days.
Thank you, directors. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.